ChatGPT helped me create a customizable workout plan that covered everything from my marathon training, my lifting and strength training, my stretching goals, and my nutrition. And in this video, what I want to do is walk you through exactly how I did it, my mindset, my thinking, as well as the practical application, and how you can create a fitness plan that'll help you accomplish your goals. And let me share my screen right here. And I'm running the 2025 Chicago Marathon. And 1 week ago, I'm sitting there on the couch and I was like, all right, I got 112 days until the marathon. And this was the start of my journey. And I said, I'm planning the week before to be a tapering week. My maximum training long run will be 20 miles. I'm getting very specific on how I'm seeing my marathon training, and I would like to increase it 2 miles every week. When do I need to start? So all I'm doing is setting the scene, being like, hey, when should I start my marathon training? So boom, ChatGPT helps me here. And the key in all of this is start with your specificity. So no matter what your goals are, whether you're running, lifting, stretching, doing yoga, you want a holistic plan. I'll show you each of these elements coming in here right now. And by the way, if you would love to support my marathon journey, go to runrobrun.com. I'm running for the V Foundation to support cancer research. Go to runrob1.com. So you can see here, it really breaks down my marathon training on with 112 days to go. I have 15 Fridays, and this is when I should do my 20 miler. So it was very specific on this. And it's very important when you're building out a workout plan for yourself, get the little nuances and the details. What do you like? What do you not like? What do you understand? What do you not understand based on what it's sharing? I also tell it that I'm doing the run walk method, which I learned from Jesse Itzler, which was popular from Jeff Galloway. He's the one who created this. My goal in the training is to be prepared physically and mentally, but I'm not running for time, only to finish because this is my 4th marathon. So you can see how specific I'm getting here in my details. Now with this, I'm going to go here. I also want to build in my lifting, stretching, and mobility schedule, knowing that I'm aiming to lift at least 2 days a week to keep my strength. I also have a goal of touching my toes by the end of 2025. So I'm looking to build in this comprehensive workout plan for myself. So yes, marathon training is one thing, but that's going to be taxing on my body. I still want to have that strength. I still want that mobility. So this is where, when you're building out your workout plan, I'm going to encourage you to think about all the buckets of your well-being in your fitness and what you want to accomplish. Start with the big one. In my case, it was the marathon training. Then peel that back and start getting that. And what you'll see here is, I love this. This is where your training becomes elite level sustainable. And the thing about being an athlete is, one, your identity in the way that you see yourself, but number two, your ability to sustain consistency. And one of the things that I love about using ChatGPT to create this training plan is all I got to do is execute. I don't have to think about this after this. So it created this integrated weekly rhythm for myself. Long run preps, strength maintenance, stretching and mobility, and life balance, because I've got a 3-year-old child. So it's important to me that this is designed around my lifestyle, and the same is true for you. So what it ended up doing here is breaking down a weekly training flow of, hey, Mondays are strength training plus mobility, Tuesday's a short run, Wednesday mobility and stretching, Thursday short run, Fridays are my long run day, Saturdays active recovery and light mobility, and Sunday's full rest. So really this has me working out 6 days a week for essentially 112 days in a row. And you can see here the key goals built into the rhythm. And what's important about this is now going to mirror back to you the goals that you want to create for yourself. So this is complete transparency, and it's very easy when you're building a fitness plan or you have a fitness journey to not be accountable for your goals. So this is a very easy way. All right, 2 times a week strength training, touching my toes at least, or working on that 4 times a week, long run with recovery, and daily and weekly habits that won't burn me out. So then it asks here, hey, would you like a specific toe touch progression routine? Because flexibility and mobility has not been a strength of mine, I want to know exactly what to do. So all I got to do is step up and execute to this. So I say yes. It was also important to me, and this is so big for when you're using ChatGPT, is also include mindset around this for me, both doing it, the importance, and the integration. I want this to click. I want to be sold on what it is that I'm doing because candidly, the thing that I have not done is created consistency in my flexibility. And because of that, I've not made it an identity. I've not had it click to where I see, oh, this is who I am. So what this ended up doing here was creating both the toe touch routine, progressive, sustainable, and effective. Hey, just do this 3 to 4 times a week after the workouts, evening wind down. So it's telling me, Rob, this is when to do it based on your life and your goals and your business. Hey, just 10 to 15 minutes a day. That's easy. That's sustainable. And then here's your step-by-step routine. I can copy this, print it out, put it somewhere in my house, or I just throw it into Evernote or into Notion. So nice and simple. So if you're working on flexibility and mobility, have it get specific on those exercises for you. And then here's this, the mindset integration for toe touching. This is so big for me because this is probably the biggest area where there's a hole in my boat because I've not created that connection there. So why does this matter? This is not about touching my toes. It's about keeping a promise for myself. Flexibility is a performance multiplier. And then this is what I love. As a marathon runner, dad, and high performance coach, this is a daily vote for mobility, presence, and longevity. And I was like, let's go. And then this single thing changed the entire game for me. How to make it stick. Treat it like brushing your teeth. Simple, sacred, and non-negotiable. When I saw that immediately, I understood it all. Is brushing my teeth twice a day, every day. I do it. Treat stretching the same way. And here we go. The identity level reminder. I'm the type of man who honors his body, moves with freedom, and leads with a strong foundation. So I ask him for some specific apps. I'm already using Peloton, and it's like, hey, Peloton is good enough for you to do this. So now what I want to do is, now that I've got these various areas dialed in, I want to dial in my mindset for each area of my fitness journey that I'm on to see clearly in my journey and how they come together, because I am living a pretty big life when it comes to the fitness side of training for a marathon and doing strength and doing mobility and dialing in my nutrition, which we'll get to in a second here. So I want commentary. I want this to be simple and easy. You can even see how I'm seeing this. Training for a marathon, strength training, stretching and touching my toes, have it click and lock in. So I get it and I see it as the high performer I am, simply and easily. Commentary like a coach mirroring back to me. And for what I'm doing with all three combined in this lifestyle as a world-class trainer to the best athletes in the world. So my goal in that specific prompt is, once again, I want the clarity, but I also want to understand what it is that I'm doing and the level that I'm operating on. So even though this is a lifestyle for me and I do this every day, I also want it to be mirrored back like, hey, Rob, this thing that you're doing, this is what a world-class coach is going to see from this. And I really love this. The marathon training, it's building capacity, not just mileage. The strength training, that's protecting your machine. Hey, Rob, this is why this is important. And then stretching your toes, Rob, this is about access and ownership. When you combine the three of these, you're not just training, you're building a lifestyle system of capacity. And I love this. Marathon training equals building your engine. Strength training equals protecting the structure. Stretching and mobility keeps you free and adaptable. I'm not just fit, I'm future ready. This is a template for how I live, move, and perform now and in the next 40 years. Let's go. Boom shakalaka. And the mindset that ties it all together. I don't need motivation. This is who I am. When I saw this right here, I was like, I want to read this every single day. So what I ended up doing was I copied and pasted this and I dropped this into both Evernote and Notion. And since doing this 1 week ago, I've read this first thing every single morning because it dials in and gets me clear on why I am doing each of these things and the importance of this. Just so big right there. So the last part here, and actually there's two more parts. I say here, the parts that have been challenging or less consistent for me have been the stretching, the time I allocate towards it, in the intentionality of my lifting workouts when I'm coming in and life sometimes throws me into the blender. With the runs, I'm good. So one of the things I'm going to encourage you with is as you're building out your workout plan, be very candid in terms of where do you struggle? Where are there holes in your boat? Maybe you do lift, but you're not as intentional. You're really good at the stretching, or maybe you're really good at the running. Give those things in there so that you can get the solutions for how to overcome them mentally or in the way of actually doing this. So what I'm looking to do here is remove the friction that is stopping me from being this best version of myself in the fitness side. So it says, hey, let's name the 2 friction points. Stretching feels optional. I was like, man, this is why this has not been something that has stuck for me. And then number 2, lifting feels reactive when life gets full. So I'll show up and lift, but I'm not dialed in like I would be if I was on 75 hard. So then here, system summary, let it click. So you're seeing how I'm peeling this onion and creating this specificity on both what I want to create, how I'm doing it exactly, as well as where's there friction and holes in my boat, and let's make this simple and easy. And then the last thing right here will be when I get to the nutrition side of things. So let me find, that's core workout. So I even dial this in more. All right. Okay, great. Now let's dial in my eating and nutrition, my mindset, strategy, and execution. Because if we've gone this far to build out a holistic workout plan for fitness, might as well dial in the nutrition too, because I'm training for a marathon. So that's going to be burning a lot of calories. So I got to make sure I'm eating enough and the right stuff. So now that it understands the lifestyle that I'm building, your nutrition system built for a high performance life. We're going to hit this with the mindset, the strategy, and the execution. So how to relate to the food and why it matters, the core principles that guide my freedom and structure, and what to eat when and how to make it sustainable. Do you see, this isn't hard. We're just being very intentional about each of these layers here. So the mindset, the food equals the fuel for what you're becoming. The strategy, the framework, your core focus equals performance and recovery nutrition. And then nice and simple, 5 simple nutrition rules for you. So do you see how we're laying this out and making it easy and making it clear? This just lit me up so much when I'm seeing this. And then daily execution. I'm not doing the time exactly as it says here, but I liked this. Meal categories for breakfast, lunch, snacks, dinner. Hey, all right, now I'm starting to see this. Now we got some flexibility into this. Enjoying meals with my family, fueling my long runs. Do I track it or not? Right? This is high performer. This is how we as high performers operate. We see everything. There's these little micro inches to where I can improve it. I can improve it. I can improve it. Or I'm just intentional and I'm doing it. And then the summary here, I eat to perform. I eat to recover. I eat to stay in the game. And then lastly here, what I want to do is build out my go-to foods menu by meal, because I do very well when I've got variety or options, not being rigid, with depth, variety, and how to think about each, as said by my world-class nutritionist for athletes, who is also an amazing chef that understands that I have a family, right? Because so much of social media is going to be like, you need to eat like a robot and be rigid, and this is the only way to do it. No, I've got a family. I know that eating pizza is going to happen or going to birthday parties, but at the same time, I am dialed in for 4 months straight getting into this marathon. So I want flexibility and freedom while at the same time being very intentional and dialed in. So this is my go-to foods menu, designed for energy, strength, recovery, family dinners, athlete level output without complexity. So this to me is an opportunity, not an obligation, right? I'm not trying to back myself into a corner. I'm giving myself structure and discipline in a way where this is what I want to create for my life. So you can see here, all right, here's what I've got for breakfast. Here's what I've got for lunch. And these are just options and starting points. And for dinner, boom, here's some ways to think about it. Hey, dinner's where performance meets concentration. Think low protein, slow carbs, color, joy. Boom, joy, yes. And down here, here's the snacks. Let's be intentional about each of these. And then my hydration right here. In your final thoughts from your world-class nutritionist, you don't Need a new plan? You need a menu that matches your identity. This menu gives you freedom without guesswork. And that is the entire thing of all of this. Freedom without guesswork. From marathon to strength to stretching to nutrition to mindset, there's no guessing in any of it. And all it takes is maybe 15 minutes of you using ChatGPT to dial all of this in here. And I'll leave you with this. I wanted more snack options because that's the one habit that I wanted to improve on and make it easy on me. So here's a list of go-to snacks here's some protein forward ones. Here's some smart carb and fats. And here's some pre-made solutions. And here's some sweet cravings. And then I love this. How to make it easy, reframing the habit, and then boom, there we go. So that was a detailed look in terms of how I created a holistic, customizable fitness and workout plan for myself while I'm training for the 2025 Chicago Marathon. I encourage you to be customizable in how you do this for yourself as well. I just want to show you how I'm approaching this, how I'm thinking about it, how I'm prompting it, and how each of these little layers can help you create something where it goes click, 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 boom. And then after that, all you do is execute. And once again, if you got value out of this, then I encourage you to support my journey for the 2025 Chicago Marathon. Go to runrobrun.com. I'm running for the V Foundation to support cancer research because I know so many of us have had friends, family members, or maybe even yourself or someone very close to you affected by cancer. And I'm running this race, not just for myself, but in service of so many other people and a greater cause. So I would love to hear from you. Did you use ChatGPT to build out your customizable workout plan? If so, drop it in the comments below. Would love to support you on that journey.